All right, folks, here we are for another session of Off the Grid. I wanted to welcome my next guest. He's an amazing MC who calls the West Coast home. He's an LA-based rapper born in Compton, California. His introduction to the culture was through freestyling and battling against other MCs at local parties and events. That would eventually fuel a passion to create music for people to relate to. His body of work includes collaborations with legends such as Razzcast, Rocka from Dilated Peoples, Michael Myers, Terminology, Master Ace, the list goes on. So welcome to the legend himself, Pawz One. Hey, brother, thank you for doing today's session with me.
Hey, what up? Appreciate you having me, bro. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. It's good to see you again. It's been a while since I seen you in Hawaii, man. I think at
Yeah,
least a year.
yeah, that's when we ate. It was October
Oh,
last
okay.
year when the
Yeah.
flights were cheap. When the flights were cheap.
Nah, that was good. It was good catching up with you in town, man. That was great.
That was my first time there too. So yeah, it was real dope.
Yeah, hey, did you guys try anything fancy, or did you guys try? Do you eat sushi and poke bowls and
Oh
stuff like
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. So what's crazy is the way I saw it in my head. It's like, a lot of times you imagine something a certain way and then you get there, it's totally different. And so we get there, hotel's nice or whatever. So I
Uh,
told my girl, like, we unpacked, like, let's go for a walk. There's fucking Prada store, Gucci store. This, and I'm like, it felt like we were staying in a mall. And it,
yeah,
like, I guess, so, like, we took a walk all the way around or whatever, got some drinks. We stopped to eat. And I wasn't feeling it. It just felt like
right.
that, bro. Like being in a mall, basically. And
Yeah, that strip.
yeah, yeah. And like I didn't see too many locals. The one local that I did see, he was across the street and he was drunk and he was yelling at all the tourists. And I was like, all right, all right. So the next day we rented a car and we ended up going around the whole island. And
Okay.
we ended up finding uh the lady made shrimp. It was like shrimp, fried shrimp, shit like that. And that
Yeah.
was more like it. Then we stopped to get a couple things to bring home. And chickens running around. Like it just that's why I wanted to be on that side. That's what
Yeah.
I want. And I got that experience. So it was real dope sitting under a big tree, a coconut, like all of that. You know what I mean? It was dope.
Yeah, that beach feel, man. Because yeah, you're right, man. That Waikiki Strip, man. It feels like malls and probably stuff that you see in LA. And
Yeah.
yeah, you were
I didn't
trying to escape that, so that's
yeah, I
cool.
didn't fly over here to be in the mall. Nah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad you made it out, man. Well, hey, if you come back, man, we'll take you to some other spots outside of the city, man. So awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, dude. So, hey, first off, congratulations, real quick, man. You got the anniversary of Face the Facts coming up. So, man, released that back in 2014, and so, man, just big deal, man. Just a testament to the time that you've been in the game, man. So awesome.
Yeah, 10 years, bro. Like, I mean, of course it flies. And then what's funny about rap, I always say ages in dog years. Cause like if an album is 2 years old, it might as well be 22 years old to some people. But the
Yeah,
cool thing is, I guess it's kind of like the pros and the cons where everything moves so fast nowadays, you could shuffle some old stuff in and people think it's new.
yeah,
So kind of use that trick sparingly, but recently, like I was promoting the 10 year, somebody must have found it, played it somewhere, and then I started getting the influx of new people checking it out, thinking that it was new.
yep,
And that's real cool because they get introduced to that, in the first album, at least for me, there was a big stigma of like, oh shit. There was a lot of pressure of like, is it going to be Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt, Ready to Die? 30, like, that's the tier, right? You're like, oh, yo, his first album was the best and blah, blah, blah. So I did mixtapes and shit building up to it,
yeah,
but it was, yeah, it was pressure, but I was blessed to work with two producers. And that's when I learned the difference between rapping on a 2-track wave or MP3, where
yep.
basically whatever's in the beat is staying there.
That's
And these
right.
Yeah, and these dudes were like, nah, bro, like if you just want to rap over the bass line, I could strip out the drums, I could
That's
take out
awesome.
the sample. And that's where like the song structure came into play. So
Yeah,
it was a good learning experience and being blessed to work with, Master Ace, Raz, and all these people on my first album. That
yeah,
was really dope. And then getting the album picked up by a label in Europe, Below System, that was
yep.
dope. So it's kind of like, my first at bat really in the majors or whatever.
Home run.
And Yeah, or at least a stand-up double. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was cool. With that album, I was able to tour. I did the album release party in New York. Cause it's weird. LA is a very weird place. I don't know if you want to segue into that, but
Yeah, real quick, man. I love perspective of just what the town is like and how the scene is, man.
so I always tell people like LA is like one of the entertainment capitals of the world, and by
Yeah.
entertainment, that's fucking everything, right? So they're shooting porn out here, they're doing you name it, right? So it's it's the entertainment capital. So it's tough to be born and raised here
Yeah.
in the music game and have anybody pay attention to you if you're not doing what's current or if you don't have a lot of money backing you and things like that. It's really hard to stand out here. So you do have to be willing to travel to get exposure. Luckily, with the internet, you could reach different markets.
Yeah.
And but I came to realize early, like there's a handful of people, there's a pocket of people out here that love and support and they buy shit and
Yep.
come to shows. But for the most part, I don't really stand a chance out here with the resources and budget that I got as an
Yeah.
indie artist. So that's why I try to circulate and tour as much as I can.
Yeah, and so I remember, man, you came and hung out with me in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, that
That
was
was
dope,
that
right?
was fun, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That was when South by was, man, you could walk down the street. I remember
Oh,
seeing Damon Marley just walking by. I saw
yep,
like Steve LaBelle, and you would see like not only artists, but if you knew who was who in the industry, this
yep.
guy's an A&R, that guy's a vice president. So you were actually able to rub shoulders and talk to people like that.
Yeah, it was
And now
exciting, man.
it was. Now, bro, it's horrible. I don't know if you've been there,
No, no, I
but
didn't. So I'm bummed. Like when we went, it was 2014, 16, and I know you and Vic made that long journey, and then y'all crashed at the pad, and man, it was just exciting to be there with you guys. But you guys were doing the recon for the next year so that you could perform out there, and so
to throw the show, yeah.
yeah, I'm sad that I missed the next year, man. So, but it was still fun.
And we drove. He was like, "Yeah, bro, don't trip. I'm gonna rent a car." And he shows up in a Chevy. I think it was a Spark, and it was like driving in a soda can all the way over there.
Oh
No
man, hey,
hotel. Yeah, it was crazy.
yeah, you're a well-traveled guy, man. Been around the world and around the United States, man. And Austin, man, how'd you like Austin as far as some of the place that you've been to?
So it's funny too. I always like finding where the locals go. So there was a where because it was like super gentrified on one side and it kind of
Yep.
started to spill over. But there was this house and it had a MLK mural on the side. And I guess it had been there for a long time. And it was a house that they converted into they fucking barbecued out of there.
Oh,
But it was like, I'm not, ghetto is not the right word.
yeah,
Creative is the
yeah,
word. So they like turned their living room into the dining area, and then like they had a little picnic area on the side, but it was still like somebody's house. So when you
yeah.
went to the restroom, like you're passing by somebody's bedroom. So but the food was like it was top notch. Where if you went somewhere again on the strip, it's like, yeah, that's cool. They probably sell this in the frozen section at Costco or some shit, right? Where that was like somebody sat there in front of the stove, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And was that Texas barbecue that you had, or
Yeah, yeah. It was like
was?
pulled
Oh
pork, like a
man.
bunch of, yeah, a nice little variety.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, man, and then New York, man, it's just wild. It's just hard to compare all these cities, man, because they got their specialties in every city. And what are some of your favorite cities that you visited and performed at?
New York's always dope.
Yeah.
Uh, because I think when people picture New York, they picture Manhattan, which is just,
Uh,
all the buildings. But then you go to the boroughs, and the boroughs are like neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
Which, is a little more closer to what I'm used to out here in LA. And they have their own little spots and like, and their own lingo, like everything, all the boroughs, Brooklyn, all of them.
Yep.
So I like New York. I mean, nothing beats Europe. Nothing beats Europe to me, only
Yep.
because it's completely different
Yeah.
and just the history, like just like Bavaria, uh, uh, like Hamburg, just like walking around different places in Austria, and like you just feel like you travel back in time in some places. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's amazing.
I like that kind of shit.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I know you did. Maybe I think it was maybe just recently you did Arizona. Maybe at least within the last 6 months. Did you? I thought you may have performed at Trill. Maybe was that where
Yeah,
you're at?
yeah. Shout out to Trill,
Yeah, I love that shop, man. Oh, that's
bro.
a cool shop.
I always try to describe it to people when I tell them
Yeah.
it's like record store slash museum
Yep.
slash. Yeah, bro. It has everything like craft
Yeah.
supplies. They sell records. They sell clothes. They sell collectibles.
Yeah.
And then when he does shows, he does them inside. And then
Yep.
when he does the festival, he does them in the parking lot. So
Yeah. Yeah. Where they spray up the wall, and when we were there, we saw just like all the toys he had. It was crazy. I
yeah,
just
he's got some really cool shit in there. Yeah.
Was that part of a tour, or was that just just one time show out there?
No, that was just a turnaround because I wanted to get out of here. Sometimes it gets to be a little too much being home for too long.
Yeah.
Just like because the market in terms of shows. So
Yeah.
like a big one that's kind of like widespread now is the pay to play. So a lot of people, a lot of artists got to sell tickets to open up for, let's say, like Black Moon if they do an anniversary show.
Yeah.
They'll have guys out here that are like seasoned, been doing it 10, 20 years or whatever. And then these guys got to go out and sell 20, 30 tickets, 40 tickets, $20 a pop to
Man.
open up for these guys. And it's not because they're not good. You know,
Right.
they just, it's just the way that the business structure is now.
Yeah.
Where before it was like, okay, who's good, who has a buzz, and who's gonna bring some people.
That's right.
Now it turned into like, well, this kid is terrible. He's barely learning. He might not even be doing this in a year, but he'll turn in $1,500 to open up for whoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when that's the case, I try to leave.
Yeah.
I try to move around, and that way I don't get because I get agitated by it. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. You put in your time, man, and I love everything that you've done, and you've been out there hustling. And I mean, I was there when at the beginning of even underground hip hop blog when you were still like,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
doing all the interviews, and I used to watch you, and I used to love doing that stuff, and man, it was good to learn from y'all. But man, I could see that, man, because you've been there, during the grassroots time, and then now here we are. You see it manifest in something you're not too happy with, man. But yeah,
yeah. And
wow.
I can go on and on about that, but really what it does is it hurts the culture, it hurts the growth of a
Mhm.
lot of shit. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
but that's another reason why I travel so much,
yeah,
and I try to do stuff outside of my vicinity. As much as I love it here and I appreciate the people here, I
yep,
try to only do maybe one or two shows here a year now,
yeah,
just because it's sometimes I got to throw my own show just
yeah,
based off the fact that no one's gonna no one's gonna give me that uh like they're not gonna put me where I feel like I deserve to be, or others,
yeah,
better yet, others feel like I should be. Yo, you should be on that. They'll throw a festival out here and there's a bunch of people on there you never heard of, been
yeah,
rapping a year or two. But anyway, I don't want to sound like,
yeah. No,
that's not
but
the
hey,
main focus, but
yeah, but I appreciate your drive, man. That's one thing. I've known you for over 10 years now, man, and just the drive and the hustle is very inspiring, man. And then, when
thank
I
you,
get
bro.
lazy, man, I watch that. I'm like, oh man, I got to do something, man. So it's been always motivating, man. But hey, man, are you going to be doing like an anniversary show for Face the Facts or?
Yeah, so I'm
Okay.
I'm gonna be throwing my own show pretty much. Like I mentioned, whenever I do that, I go all out. I try to like I want to make it a party. See, I put emphasis on a party. Like all my
Yeah,
rap homies all want to show up and perform and do a couple songs. But in reality, like I like hip hop parties where like it's some shit going on, bunch of DJs, everyone's drinking, having fun, dancing, and then maybe a performer.
okay,
And then that's it.
cool.
So with this, like I booked DJ Revolution, the homie Breeze who produced on Face the Facts, the homie Lou Man. I got Mona Lisa, and so they're all gonna play a variety of shit. So it's not just gonna be just boom bap all night. You're gonna get
Yeah,
some funk, some soul, some. You're gonna get a nice mix. And again, it's supposed to be a party to where you don't feel the pressure of like, oh man, I gotta watch another guy and then another guy and then another guy. It's just
yeah,
like having a good time and then with a good host, and it's that I just want to make it fun, bro. I want to show like
Yeah.
appreciation for the people that support too, so that
Yeah.
way they don't feel like Jesus is like 19 rappers in,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. Yeah. It takes
Yeah,
forever to get.
yeah.
Hey,
I don't want to put them through that, bro.
yeah. Well, hey man, I love the cover of Face the Facts, and I saw Bruce Lee on the top right, dude. Are you a
Yeah,
martial arts flicks guy or just a
I
Bruce Lee movie guy?
so uh I wasn't too big into like the old. My pops used to like a lot of the old kung fu movies and the westerns,
Yeah.
but Bruce Lee, I think he got like he became like a mythological creature to where like I got older and like I started like I just like I mean Chuck Norris and all these different people, the
Yeah.
action stars, right? But I think when I started learning that dude had a whole philosophy, right?
Yeah.
And like seeing little bits of his interviews and shit as a kid, and like my pops and people kind of like trickling little bits. I was like, he's a dope person, like the acting and everything else, and obviously the martial arts, but just as a person as a whole, like I found out dude was pretty much like a gang member when he was a kid, stuff like that, and like to grow into what he became, getting in trouble and then straightening himself out and then using this to launch this and then helping people out. And I so that's why he's on the cover. And my goal with having all those faces on there is everybody on there inspired me in one way or another. And I
Awesome.
remember like one of the key points that I wanted to hit on with that, and I hope it works, is as a kid when I was, growing up in Compton, like I had to my left, I had some Samoan neighbors. And
Okay.
then to my right, I had black neighbors. And then across the way, I had like Salvadorian neighbors. And so like I was, it was a nice little mix of like all these different cultures. And
Okay.
as a kid, you're not conditioned yet. So you just like, do I like this person or not? Are they cool or they
Right.
not? And so same applied to the heroes that I heard and saw, whether it was music, movies, whatever. Like I didn't give a shit who it was if
That's
it
right.
was cool. So I a big part of it is like hip hop is like it's a melting pot of all these cultures combined, right? So that's why I chose all these different heroes who have different nationalities, different backgrounds, because
Nice.
they all influence me. So it's kind of like I'm a sample in the way someone would sample a beat. I'm a sample of these people because I
Oh
took bits
damn.
and pieces from these
That's
people, the
so
Mike Tysons and so on. So like I'm
yeah.
the I'm the end result I'm the beat that was made with these samples. You know what I
Damn,
mean?
that's wild, man. I love that. So with that, man, you mentioned, dude, like just movies. You're a big movie fan, and so, man, you got a particular type of movie? Are you a comedy guy, action guy, or you just like
All
movies
of
all
them.
around? Yeah.
So my cousin was clowning one time because I was talking about movies and he's like, so you think every movie's good? And I was and I was like, nah. But I was listing off ones I liked, obviously. There's a
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
called if you get a chance, it's called The Good Guys. It's
Okay.
written by Shane Black, who
Okay.
did Lethal Weapon. Um, he was in The Predator as an actor, but he wrote a bunch of good movies. Anyway, it has Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, and
Okay.
they played two detectives back in the '70s. But it has they're private detectives, and it has private investigators. They have it has action, it has comedy, it has this like kind of sad moments, it's serious. That's like the perfect movie if I could pick a genre. Like I like Snatch. Snatch is another good one, kind of the
Yeah.
same, has its action, has its sad parts. Like so, those are like they have that would be if I could give it a name, that would be the genre that I'm the biggest fan of. You know what I'm saying?
Ah,
It's got to have some humor, but it's also got to be it's got to touch on the
some
serious stuff as well. And
yeah,
yeah,
real life topics, huh?
yeah, action doesn't hurt.
Yeah. That's good. What got you into the movie, like just watching movies, man? I know for me, it's always a good escape. I get to forget what I'm thinking about, on whatever I'm going through in the day. But any particular reason that you like movies? Is it for the
I
cinematography or the stories or?
You know what? I think it's the stories, but I think the way I got kind of into it was just being at home and like, parents being gone. You're kind of raised by the TV. I was part of that
Yeah.
generation that was kind of raised by the TV, with the Ninja Turtles, all the cartoons and all that. And then,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
some movies would come on and I just get kind of sucked in to the story of it. And then, or, hating the villain in the story and then being like, you know what, he's not that bad. Or I would just get pulled into that and see the
Yeah.
different dynamics, things like that. And then as I got older, I started realizing like how some actors, some of the best movie moments ever were improvised, right?
Yeah.
Robin Williams, certain people. But yeah, it's another craft. It's another art form that like I think is really, really dope. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's my go-to.
Yeah, that's true, man. Hey, what's the last good movie that you saw?
That one's pretty good. It's called Sisu. Did you see that? He's
Oh,
a gold miner. It's a foreign film. I think it's a Danish film. He's a gold miner during World War II. So he was a soldier. It's kind of like John Wick ish. He's not a hitman. He used to be a soldier. He lost his family and everything, and he's like, "Fuck this war. I'm just gonna go dig for gold." Starts digging for gold, and then a retreating Nazi tank division is they're passing through, and they basically rob him of his gold,
oh shit.
and they already robbed him of his family. But it turns out, dude is like they call him I forget the name, but he has like a nickname, and he ends up killing basically every single one of them.
Oh,
Yeah,
dope.
he hunts them down. Yeah, when you get a chance, Sizu is what it's called.
I will, man. And you have certain actors or actresses that you follow in terms of like movies, like you like all the stuff that they put out, or not really.
Uh, Denzel's really good.
Yeah.
Book of Eli, uh, Hurricane. Movies like you see how you know diverse. Like he could do a variety of shit.
Yeah.
Um, there's some people. Paul Giamatti.
Okay.
He's another one. Like if I see them on the cover of the movie or the name up there, I gotta give it a shot because they don't do dog shit roles. Like they won't just take shit for a check. And there's a couple. There's a
Yeah.
couple.
I'm always a fan of how they score these movies too, man. What do you think, in your opinion, are some great movies that have good music soundtracks?
Conan. If you go back and watch Conan, how big it sounds, like it just sounds like every scene when he's riding the horses, every scene
Uh,
just like really big. John Williams is good.
yeah.
Alan Silvestri, I think he did the Predator, like the Predator.
Yeah.
What's funny is I've been listening to a lot of classical music lately, and I'll hear little bits, little tiny bits in classical music where I'm like, oh shit, they implemented that. That's in Star Wars, or that's in Jaws, or that's
Yeah.
in. So they basically sampled themselves. They just replayed it, but yeah.
Oh, that's dope, man. Mine, Kill Bill is mine. That's probably my all-time
Oh
favorite,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah. His soundtracks, because he handpicks.
Yeah.
He's very very critical and very picky of every little detail. So all his movies, bro.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, man, it was good catching up and talking on movies, man. And I know Face the Facts, that show is going to be awesome. DJ Revolution and the lineup that you got, man, it's going to be banging. And so, with that, man, I got to close out with one fun question, man. All right, man. So, Pawz One. If you could have any superhero power, what would it be and why?
It would be I'm trying to think of uh, who it is. Where they basically take all the other powers. That's the power out.
I love it, man. Hey, with
Yeah.
that, man, it's been an honor, man. Thankful to have you as a friend for all that time, and it's been inspiring to watch you. Love your catalog, and I can't wait till all the new stuff comes out, man. Good luck at tonight's show, brother. Any final words before we close this interview out?
Well, shit, I appreciate you having me. In case the people don't know, we got some good records together.
Mhm.
15 minutes, all right. Uh,
Yes, yeah.
go check those out. And big, huge shout out to everybody that made it this far in the interview. Please support Memph and everything that he does. The dude gives a shit, puts heart and soul into it, makes time for it, has the passion and the love for it. Please support this brother right here. Peace.
Likewise, brother, man. All the best, brother. We'll catch up soon.
Sounds good. All right, bro. Take Take it easy.
Yep.